The Old World and the New World. Two supercontinents half a world apart, and never the twain shall meet. The story goes that the Native Americans were isolated on their two continents, or maybe one continent, for thousands of years until their solitude was abruptly ended by Columbus, or at least the Vikings. But this story is at best only partially accurate. Why? Because the New World and the Old aren't separated by thousands of miles, they're barely 50 miles apart here at the Bering Strait, and to the locals, the two worlds are just two sides of a narrow channel. Let's explore. At its smallest, the Bering Strait is no wider than the distance across Rhode Island or Luxembourg. Geographically, the Bering Strait sits between Cape Dezhnev on the Chukchi Peninsula on the Asian side, and Cape Prince of Wales on the Seward Peninsula on the North American side. Politically, these are part of Russia's Chukotka Autonomous Okrug and the U.S. state of Alaska, respectively. To the south of the strait lies the Bering Sea, part of the Pacific, and to the north lies the Chukchi Sea, part of the Arctic Ocean. Right in the middle of the strait are the Diomede Islands, the Russian Big Diomede and the American Little Diomede, sitting less than 2.5 miles apart. Although the Bering Strait is generally considered the boundary of Asia and North America, geologically the boundary between the two tectonic plates lies a bit further to the west, in the Chursky mountain range, meaning a good bit of Siberia lies on the North American plate. During the last glacial maximum, a fancy term for ice age, sea levels were lower and the Bering Strait did not exist at all. Instead, North America and Asia were connected by a landmass referred to as Beringia, allowing species to cross between the two. One leading hypothesis is that the ancestors of today's Native Americans walked across Beringia to reach the New World, although some experts believe they may have taken boats along the coastline. Today, the Alaskan side of the strait is part of the homeland of the Inupiat people, who live across northern Alaska. The Russian side and St. Lawrence Island to the south are home to the Siberian Yupik, close relatives of the Yupik and Alutiiq of southwest Alaska. This is a single culture stretching between Asia and North America, which just goes to show how arbitrary the boundaries between continents are, even ones that seem straightforward. The first Europeans to reach the Bering Strait were led by Semyon Dezhnev in 1648 in a search for walrus ivory, but the area only really became part of European maps after the first Kamchatka expedition in 1725 led by Vitus Bering, for whom the strait is named today. The strait was later visited by Captain James Cook's third voyage in 1778, which charted a lot of the coast of the Bering Sea. The Bering Strait later became the end goal of several expeditions seeking to find a route through the Arctic Ocean, those being the famed Northeast and Northwest Passages. The Northeast Passage around Asia was finally completed by Adolf Erik Nordenskjold's Vega expedition from 1878 to 79, and the Northwest Passage around North America by Roald Amundson's Joa from 1903 to 1906. In the 21st century, as the Arctic pack ice melts because of climate change, the Northeast and Northwest Passages are becoming more open to commercial shipping, and the Bering Strait may soon become a major international shipping route. There's also long been a dream of building either a bridge or a tunnel across the Bering Strait, thus reconnecting the Old World and the New. Although well within the limits of modern engineering, the plans have never made it much past the proposal stage. The problem with a Bering Strait crossing is that it isn't really a link between the major cities of North America and Asia. It's a link between a barely inhabited part of Alaska and an even less inhabited part of Siberia. Sure, it would be exciting to take a train from London to New York, but you can already take a train from London to Beijing, and who does that? People take planes and cargo takes ships, neither of which requires a multi-billion-dollar crossing in the Arctic. But who knows, the economics could change, and we might see a new Beringia sooner than we think. In the end, the Bering Strait means a lot more than just 50 miles of water. It's a home to thousands of people, a gateway to new lands and new coastlines, and maybe soon, a crossroads of the world economy. And as always, thanks for watching.